Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing an NFL tier list ahead of the 2024 season. With the season quickly approaching, I thought it'd be that time of year we rank all the teams one by one. So this is going to be exactly the same tier list like what we did in our MLB tier list 12 days ago. Ranking each team one by one, put them in every tier, see how they're going to do. Without any further ado, let's get started. We're going to begin with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals may not be good, but at least picking Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft pick is probably pretty much the D tier team. If Kyler Murray doesn't get hurt, I feel like they're going to win some good games, probably like 5 to 6. But I don't think the Cardinals don't have that much potential this season. Their whole roster is just weak, especially that defense is not that good. So I'll put the Cardinals in D tier. Next up, the Atlanta Falcons. I really have high hopes on the Falcons this year with the addition of signing Kirk Cousins. But to be honest with me, he's pretty much like an injury-prone QB as of now. But I don't know why, because they signed the Falcons, but in the month of April, they drafted Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. This may not be really good though, but I don't know if the Falcons will either start Kirk or Michael Penix. But I must say, I think the Falcons roster is pretty much now more improved. New head coach. And the Falcons are pretty much ready for an NFC South division title this season. I think the Falcons may be a really good, decent team who should make the playoffs. I'm going to put them in B tier. Next up are the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens have impressed me so much last season. I think the Ravens with both Lamar and Derrick Henry in the backfield is going to be scary. I think nobody isn't ready to play this team. This team is just too stacked, especially their defense. Their offense is way too powerful. I think the Ravens have a chance of winning the division this season if the way Lamar keeps playing like he did last season. He is the reigning MVP as well. So I'm thinking of putting the Ravens in S tier of how good they are. Next up are the Buffalo Bills. Bills may not be good this season. They're not really going to be good. The reason why they're not going to be good is because they're in the offseason. They had to cut half their roster. And they don't have Stephon Diggs because he's in the Texans. Gabe Davis is in Jacksonville. And the Bills may not be good this season, especially all their defense getting cut. But I must say, the reason why the Bills don't look like a C-tier team is because they have Josh Allen. He's pretty good. But he will throw the ball to Keon Coleman. That's a good pickup from the draft. At least they have tight ends like Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. Those are some good tight ends. But the receivers I don't even like the receivers. They got Chase Claypool, was so bad. But at least Khalil Shakir is a good one. I might as well put the Bills in the B tier just because of how not good they are this season. Next up are the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are just way so shit this year. I'm putting them in F tier. I'm not going to spend my time talking about this poverty franchise. Next up, the Chicago Bears. Bears are another poverty franchise, but picking up Caleb Williams from the draft should be a really good pickup for the Bears. They could probably much be a wild card team this season, but are not there yet. The Bears have a bright future ahead of them. Yeah, sorry about my videos. Just cut out. It happens all the time. I know I have a lot of problems with my recording. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals may be really decent this year after losing Joe Burrow last season, but I think he's going to become back better than ever now. Ready for another Super Bowl run with the Bengals. They may have a chance to win the division, but I don't think they're kind of there yet. They'll probably be winning 11 games this season. I'll put the Bengals in A tier. Next up, the Cleveland Browns. I don't know if the Browns would be good if Deshaun Watson stays healthy and gets out of trouble. The Browns could be decent. Like, I don't have nothing to say about the Browns. They're a good team. They could probably make a playoff run if they could. I'll put them in B tier. Next up, the Dallas Cowboys. Bro, I have like beef with these fans, bro. Every damn year, these Cowboys fans are so damn delusional, and they always say, "We them boys, this is gonna be our year. We're Super Bowl bound." All that meat writing, bro. They glaze them all year, and then when it comes to the playoffs, they always disappoint. Cowboys are not gonna be good. They always be good in the regular season, but when the playoffs approach, they always manage to fail. I don't think the Cowboys won't even make it past the wild card this season. I'll have to put them in B tier. Next up, the Denver Broncos. Broncos are going to be probably the worst team in the NFL. Like, bro, their offense is just trash. Their QBs are so bad, like, I can't even name them. They got Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix from the draft, and even worse, Zach Wilson. If the Broncos start either Bo Nix, they'll probably win 6 games. If Jarrett Stidham starts, they're probably going to win 3 to 4 games. But if they even think about starting Zach Wilson, they're not winning a game. And the Broncos may be contenders for the number 1 pick. I'll have to put them in F tier just because how bad this team is. Next up, the Detroit Lions. Honestly, I love the Lions this year. They're going to be good, just like last year. Make another NFC Championship run, I think. This team is just too stacked. They got all their key players back. I think this team is pretty much like a Super Bowl team this season, but I'm not there yet. I'll have to put the Lions in A tier. Next up, Green Bay Packers. Who thinks this Packers team will be good, mid, or bad? This Packers team may be good. The addition of Josh Jacobs this free agency was big. Signing Jordan Love 4-year deal will make him the highest paid QB in the NFL. I think the Packers could probably sneak the playoffs and probably make another division run just like they did last season. Packers are pretty much a good, decent B tier team this year. Next up are the Houston Texans. Scary this season. What do you mean they got Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon signing this free agency? They were able to. How bad my recording is. Like, I'm literally about to be so mad about this. Anyway, we gotta keep going. I got the Houston Texans probably like an S to A tier just because of how good this team is. They could probably make a big Super Bowl run the way they signed in the offseason. Their defense is pretty much more improved. The Texans are ready to dominate the AFC this year. I feel like the Texans are going to be an A tier team. Not an S tier team yet, but an A tier. Next up are the Colts. I don't think the Colts may not be good this year, but at least Anthony Richardson is expected to come back. Well, take this Colts team to either the playoffs or another winning season. Colts are mid. I'll put them in C tier. Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the Jaguars probably may be good or bad. I don't know. It depends. Team is pretty much shaky this year. But at least they have Gabe Davis on the team. But I hope Trevor Lawrence doesn't get hurt, because if he does, then the backup will be Mac Jones. And Mac Jones is honestly the worst QB in the NFL. I don't know about this Jags team. I'll have to put them in C tier. Next up, the defending back-to-back Super Bowl champions. We already know this is an S tier, no doubt. God. Next up, the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are not going to be good. At least they have Justin Herbert as their QB. He's more like a social media quarterback. Same goes with no, never mind. Even Jim Harbaugh should turn his team around. Chargers literally lost all their receivers and Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I don't know who will Herbert throw to. I think their defense should be a little bit better, but I don't think the Chargers aren't there yet. I'll have to put them in D tier. Next up are the Los Angeles Rams. As a Rams fan myself, I'm pretty much ready for the season. Got Matthew. The Rams and myself pretty much ready for the season. We got Stafford back, Cooper Kupp's gonna be back. More like everyone in the team's gonna be back. I think this team pretty much may make the playoff, but hopefully another Super Bowl run. But I don't think not this time. Rams are gonna be good, but as a Rams fan myself, I'll put them in B tier. Next, the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are not going to be good normally. At least their defense is getting way better, but the offense is good. The defense may make a lot of good plays, but the offense pretty much will not. I don't know where to put the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to be mid this year. I'll put them in C tier. Next up, the Dolphins. Dolphins are really much a little overrated in my opinion. The prior year, they make the playoffs and then choke in the division last year was pretty much bad. I don't know how. Dolphins pretty much will be a little bit good. The reason why they are not going to the B tier is because they have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and the addition of OBJ. The Dolphins should probably win the division, but pretty much not there yet. They could still make the playoffs, and they are the only team to not have won a playoff game since 2000. I'll put the Dolphins in A tier. Next up, the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings are not going to be good. The reason why I should not put them in F tier is because they have Justin Jefferson. I don't think the Vikings shouldn't go to the F tier. They're going to be good, but I think Sam Darnold's expected to be the starting QB for the Vikings. I'll put them in D tier. Next up, the New England Patriots. You know what? I don't have nothing to talk about this poverty franchise. F tier. Next up, the New Orleans Saints. I think the Saints could be decent. Derek Carr is expected to have another good season, and the Saints should probably finish second in the NFC South just because they have a good top 10 defense. And the Saints should be a C tier team. Next up, the New York Giants. Giants are not going to be good. Last season was so shaky. I don't think this season they won't be good. I'll have to put the Giants in D tier, just because Malik Neighbors is a beast. Next up, the New York Jets. I think the Jets have high hopes they can win the AFC East this season, but Rodgers stays healthy, doesn't tear his Achilles. I think the Jets got it this year. So I'm putting the Jets in B tier. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I don't like the Eagles low-key. Every time. Last season, 10-1, best team in the NFL. Weeks later, collapse, blew to the running back. So, let's start it again. Got the Eagles. Home Eagles may not be good because last year they were so unbeatable, best team in the NFL to a first round exit. I don't think they may not be even good this year. I'll put them in B tier. Next up are the Steelers. Steelers could be decent, but their offense is pretty much so bad. Their offense is so trash right now. But they have a good top 5 defense at least. I'll put them in B tier just because how good that defense is. Next up are the Seahawks. The Seahawks are going to be a little bit trash, but not that trash. They'll probably win 8 to 9 games. With the new coach of Mike McDonald, he'll probably turn his team around. I think the Seahawks should be decent this year. I'll put them in C tier. Next up are the San Francisco 49ers, NFC champions. Even though I don't like the Niners, though, but they are an S tier team. You can't doubt that. Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Bucs Could probably make another NFC South title run. The way Baker Mayfield balled out last year, won a playoff game, and now, low key, he has more playoff wins than the entire Cleveland Browns franchise. Crazy. I'm putting the Bucs in A tier. Next up are the Tennessee Titans. This whole Titans team is trash. The whole team is so washed. I have no words about how bad this team will be. Losing Derrick Henry and adding Tony Pollard is like a D tier move, but at least their defense is getting a little bit improved since the signing of L'Jarius Sneed and Jamal Adams. I think the Titans defense could be good, so I'll put them in C tier. Last but not least are the Washington Commanders. The Commanders were absolutely horrid last year. They literally lost all their games last season, and this season probably may be worse. Well, not that bad since they added Jaden Daniels in the draft, adding Austin Eckler and everyone besides him. I think the Commanders should be sneaky, but now I don't think they're not good. Their stadium just sucks so bad. I'm putting the Commanders in F tier. And there you have it. We finished ranking all the NFL teams. This is the tier list. Take a look at it. If you guys want me to add some stuff, leave me down some things in the comments and I'll pretty much remove them. But that's it. That is the 2024 NFL tier list rankings ahead of the season. If you guys enjoy, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next